and then we take it from there.
Okay, that's fine.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to Coming Home to You. I have the wonderful, beautiful Karin Monster Peters,
Yes.
who is an energy healer coming all the way from Portugal. So she's going to tell us exactly what do you mean by when you say you're an energy healer?
So I've been working with energy for, I think, the last 12 years. And I mostly play in the quantum field. I am very much in that energy of a very, very quick energy, a very Aquarius energy. Like everything is possible. You're your healer. You're your own healer. What do you want? Let's go for that. And that's the energy that I play with. I like to say play, not work.
Yeah.
Because we're always kind of like playing with energy, right?
Yeah, and we'd be playing and not know about it, not being aware of it.
Exactly. We're always in it. A lot of people ask me, yeah, one of the first things they ask me is like, how do you get into a quantum state? Well, we are in a quantum state. There's no getting it, in it. You're in it already. And the quicker you realize that, the more you can actually start actively and consciously taking actions into the directions of the things you want.
Yeah. It's a bit like when people say, what do you do to be happy? And we're naturally happy.
Yeah,
We just have to open up to it.
exactly. It's everything. It's already here, and we just have to tune into it.
Exactly. And I suppose that could be a hard concept for people to get to as well, is that everything that ever was, ever will be, it's already here. We
Yeah,
just
yeah,
have to
yeah,
move into that
yeah.
space.
Yeah, I played a lot in the past life regression therapy field for a while, fascinated by it, until I realized more and more that everything is now. And then you realize, oh, wait a minute, all these lives are all actually all taking place all at the same time. And we can access all, that's why we can access them in a regression. We're just actually tuning into them. Everything it's today, it's now, it's this moment, and we're constantly shifting into these different states. And that's why people say, oh, I just I made that quantum jump, or I went back in the past life. No, you just accessed another timeline in which those skills were there, or all of a sudden you reached into something more. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what way do you work with people? Or how do you work with people?
How do I work with people? So this is the funny story. Last year I retired. I said, you know what? I am so done with just always, marketing and everything like that, not my favorite part, right? And I have a great life. I've created everything, I've created and been creating everything that I've wanted, and I was just like, why am I not just enjoying it? Why am I not just having that what I want? Until then, so I retired and I started gardening, and I was doing my thing. And then the beginning of this year came along, and I was like, oh, I feel like a teacher without students, when you have like, there's just, again, I was enjoying my life, absolutely. And really, but because I was enjoying it so much, I was like, oh my God, people have to know that there is a way, to be happy. There is a way to have your all, whatever that may be for you. So I came back. And I kind of like came back in a little bit of a segue, and it was, I started doing, well, years ago, I've been with this company. I've been following this company for 12 years now. Heroic. It's in a public benefit corporation in the United States. And they have a goal, a mission to create a world in which 51% of the world's population is flourishing by the year 2051. So yeah, so that's a beautiful goal, right? So I went back with them because I was like, oh, this is something I can get behind. It's very clear. The objective is clear. I was already a heroic coach as well, a lot of doing that. I became a heroic performance coach. And then I started doing, this May, I went to Austin to certify as a workshop instructor. So, but so I've been doing all that now. Yet my real gift, my real magic is in the quantum work, like one-on-one work. I do also well, I'm going to be reopening my membership. I did my membership before, which was with a lot of foundational work. You're eating, you're moving, you're sleeping, you're like all these things, and then of course always infused with some magic, because it's always, otherwise it's just too dry for me. So I'm reopening that. I'm going to reopen that in September. But I already as soon as I announced that I was again doing my that I was coming out of retirement, people started coming back. And even I was doing always in the online space for like, I think 8 years.
Mhm.
But now people in my area are also finding me. So that's fun. So yeah, I work in many ways. So one-on-one, group work, just trying to create ways to inspire people. Yeah.
And I love that word you use, magic.
Mm.
And how, I suppose, as adults, as children, we believe in magic. We all have our little pixie dust and the fairy dust and all the rest of it. But as we get older, we sort of seem to lose its potency. And when we can get back in touch with the possibility of magic being all around,
Mm.
that opens up a whole new world for us. Because it gets like Harry Potter, and we can wave our magic wand and create the life that we want. And I think magic is such a wonderful place to try and come from. Can you?
Yeah, for me, magic is it's everything. It's like that all encompassing of possibilities and faith and trust and unfolding, and frequencies and like glitter and, and just all those little like shimmer, like
Mm,
in like frequency in your body, when the moment you're connected to something bigger than you, that you just feel that in your body. You just
yeah.
kind of go, what was that? Right. And I think that's the wonder part.
Mm,
That wonder, what, like, I felt that. You felt that? Wow. Yeah, yeah, and that connects you with something else. I think that's what magic is. I think that's where we've gotten that disconnected from it, because we just don't stop and notice those moments, because if we are open, they're everywhere,
yeah.
right? You just feel like, even just, like, oh, wow, did you see that? Oh my God, the light just went different, or something is happening all the time, but we just have to open our eyes and notice it and take it in. And I think that's for me where like that quantum state really and magic comes in, is when we take it in.
Yeah. And like, of course, being curious as to everything that's around.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure the fact that you're in quantum physics and know that everything is now here. Uh, would you have any experiences with different realities at the same time?
Oh, well, I have, and it's just funny to see how again you have to notice it, right?
Mm,
we tend, I think we all have them. I think we just wave them out. We just kind of go, no, that's weird, right? I mean, I think the clearest and most common way is the deja vu.
Mm.
I mean, even just a couple of days ago, I don't even now I'm like, okay, what was I exactly doing? But it was like so specific, a certain book and a certain person, and I had already, and I knew like I've this is not even a deja vu. I've already been there. It's been done because that memory was so real,
Mm.
you know. But even in weird little things, like I have this massage ball that I use every morning for my back, to open the fascia, and I like literally just put it away, and then I want to go look for it again, and it's not there, and I'm like, wait a minute, I just literally just did this, and it's not there, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. Okay, I think I need the time where my ball is back, right? And I look, and there's the ball again. And I haven't moved. It hasn't been moving around. It was exactly where I placed it. So I think we're constantly shifting. We're constantly jumping timelines. But we don't notice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's definitely something over the last 2 years that the veil has got thinner, and that there's more and more of this happening. And for me, I'm very familiar with it from a pretty early age. I was always in different realities and having deja vus,
Yeah.
and expected to have that. But
Mm.
for people who wouldn't be familiar with it, when these things can happen, it can be very confusing for people. Because did I see that? Did I experience that? And am I going crazy? Or, maybe you'd like to talk a little bit about that for a while.
About the experience or about the weirdness?
Well, both, because it's real and it's not real at the same time.
Well, it's everything is real. I mean, it's everything
Mm.
is what are we looking at, right? What is your focus? And again, I think the weirdness, I love weird. Like I love weird. So give me weird, please. And I myself as a child, I remember really summoning things, like, just on my little, thing set and going, little lizard is gonna come out. I'm gonna see a lizard, and I'm gonna see a green lizard. It's gonna be a green lizard, and that lizard is gonna bring me luck, and then the lizard would come, right? And then I was just like, I did that, and I knew that I was summoning things, right? And that I was creating my reality. I could feel, because again, I could feel that, like there was that sense of wonder when it happened. It was that confirmation that I could do that. I can summon things. And I've been doing that my whole life. Very intentionally, as soon as I realized, like, wait a minute, I'm not crazy, because that's the weird part, right? when you start realizing that you can tap into knowledge and wisdom and information that is just there for you to access. And for me, it started, well, like I was doing that as play, right? As a kid, it's play. You just kind of like, you're just playing with these things, but you don't know I did that, right? But later, I was a psychologist. I was working as my start in my own journey was as a psychologist for as educational and child development psychologist. And when parents would come in and they had, they'd fill in this intake form for their children. And I would always ask for a little photo that I could place some thoughts, that I would have a visual. And while I was just looking at this photo, there was all this information coming through. that was just there. And I wasn't hearing it. It was just there. So while I was speaking, it would just, I would be, and the parents would be like, wait a minute, did we put that in there? And they were like, and I was like, oh, no, it's just, very stereotypical in this type of children, so I'm, drawing on but I wasn't. It was just there. So I think, and we all have these experiences when we just know things and they're there, but we don't, it's weird, but we are afraid to say that, that was, I did, that just came. No, I just knew that. And we just analyzed it. We go, oh, no, it's just common sense or whatever. But there's so much that we can tap into. And it's all weird, but we just have to be willing to tap into it and say, bring it on. I'm open and I'm listening, and whatever comes through, it's for the highest good, right? So I think, the experience of weird, it's very personal. And for me, it was always just fun to tap into that, and to realize later, and to get that confirmation, because I was always in spaces where it would be confirmed, which was good. Yeah.
I suppose one thing that, like you say about getting into the weird is maybe fearful about what other people might say, or what other people be judging about that, and maybe starts to question the validation of who you were.
Mhm.
And that can bring up a whole other book of worms. Then we go back into self-worth and all that good stuff.
All the good stuff, yeah. But again, I think the more you surround yourself with the weird, the less weird you realize that it's actually everywhere, but a lot of people push it away. No, we're all able to channel. We're all able to tap into to magic. Most of the quantum healing modalities actually speak to that. I'm not doing anything. You are doing it. I'm just aligning you to what you can do for you, right? Like, we're never healers. We're just facilitators of an alignment into healing.
Exactly.
So
Help other people get into the frequency.
exactly, we just getting them in there where their innate wisdom can do its thing. That's why I'm always very hesitant to say, like, even, am I a healer? Oh, like I'm, I know a lot about it.
Yeah.
But and I can tell you, I can give you tips, and I can align you, but you're gonna have to do the work. It's you, it's your power, it's your manifestation, your process, and it's your results, not mine. That's usually a little bit tough for people, right? They just want the quick fix. They want somebody to fix them, and it's not how it works.
No. No. And like you said, this is it. And everybody, I suppose a lot of people need to have a label on something, or to something that they can put into a little box and say, oh, that's it, and that's it there.
Yeah.
But like you said, they don't realize that they have to take responsibility to do the work themselves, because that's only when the magic can happen.
It's the only
You know,
way. It's your life.
you're
It's your
so used to taking a
responsibility.
tablet for something.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the part I struggle the most with. If I'm being brutally honest, the fact that most people don't.
Yeah.
uh, even last year into retirement, I was just like, I can be out there and give my best and shine the light and be bright and give all these tools, but people are just not doing the work. So then what am I doing? Why am I just not, leaning back and and living that great life, right? Yet I realized more and more throughout this past year that it's not so much about what people are doing with it. It's my responsibility to just show up. You know, that's my only responsibility. I'm here. I'm facilitating processes. I'm doing me because I love to do it, because it's me shining through. And that should be my only attachment. And not what the other person does with it. It's difficult for the ego. It's difficult. I'm in a constant battle with my ego, like, sit back. I love you to pieces. You do your thing. But right now, we're just shining bright.
Yeah, and like I said, that's the constant battle, is battling the ego,
Yeah.
and telling the small self to stay quiet, just to sit down and take it easy there.
Yeah.
Because it's so much wants to be in charge and say, no, 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 I'll protect you. Stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
so,
always judging the processes, always
yeah,
judging the process and judging the outcome. Say, oh my God, no, 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 no. I do what I do because I love to do it. That's the only reason, period, right? Whatever happens after that, it's not up to me. And that's my biggest breakthrough, I think, as I've been now in this work, I think 20 years. I literally came out of university and I started my own practice. Because I'm just too stubborn to work for anyone.
so,
But I had a specific goal, and I nobody was doing it, so like maybe it was time for me to do it. But 20 years of going up and with ups and downs, and every time, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Oh my God! Oh, and then no, I'm never gonna go back. Yeah, I'm back. No, I'm not gonna go back. And then realizing, wait a minute, you keep coming back. Why? And it's because
yeah,
I love to do it.
that's it. And I suppose it's feeling that deeper connection too, that this is why I'm here.
Yeah,
You know, this
yeah,
is my joy, my reason for being here.
yeah, yeah.
The I suppose we could talk so much about this, uh, and I can see what really excites you, and that was going to be like, well, what even excites you more? It's a I know for me, being in strange places or having these feelings that sometimes you feel alone,
Mm,
and that you feel that, is everybody else right and I'm wrong?
mm.
Did you ever get questions like that, or you're secure enough in your sense of self?
I'm pretty secure. Yeah, I think I don't know. It's of course it's wisdom.
Yeah.
It's lived wisdom. I've never had an easy life ride experience. And I've always gone to where I needed to be with doing me. Like any way that would be, I would do me, and people would think I'm crazy and what are you doing? And even having a baby at 20, first year university, I was like, they're like, no, I'm like, no, but I want a baby. She wasn't a mistake. I want a child, period. Right. But you're starting university. Yeah. So what? Right. Then out of university, taking over foundations, staying, just stubbornly doing me has always paid off so much that I don't doubt myself in that sense, even though I do question if what happiness is, right? Like when am I fulfilled, right? And I'm always thinking I'm there and I'm not. And that's where you take on the next challenge.
Yeah.
but I don't usually feel wrong.
Sean, so it's such great wisdom there. Yeah, it's taking on the challenge of having a baby at a young age. And I think that is the time to have children when they are young and when you have everything.
Yeah.
What I won't say what joy has it brought you, but what added learning has it brought you by being a mother? Has it like is it, the child reflected more back to you where
So
you,
I've always said one thing. I have no gurus. I only have children.
well, we have to be our own guru.
So my kids are my biggest teachers. I have
Yeah.
three. And basically from the moment that my first one, she's 24 now. And when she was born, and you just wake up to, I woke up to me. I like I knew, like I've seen her, I saw her in my dreams. I called her in. I mean, I knew she needed to be born, period. So I was like, I'm gonna have a baby. And everybody's like, but again, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna have a baby, period. And the moment she was born, it was like, it was such an awakening to something bigger than me,
Mhm.
one, something outside of me, no wants and needs, which is something we all need to have. We need to have that experience of service. I mean, and what parenting, right? Service. So placing me like outside of my own wants, like I don't want to, no. Your child, you have to get up. Your child needs to be fed. And doing something with my life to make her proud, to make myself proud, to give her a vision to work towards that, this is how a mother looks like, right? Like this is what a woman does. I wanted her to have something to strive, maybe, but maybe it was just not to be ashamed of me, right? It was like, could be that simple that I was like, no, she's gonna be proud of her mom. And then all of that, stepping up to the plate, going to the next level, owning everything, radical responsibility. I think your kids are your biggest gurus. And I think that, I have a book in my head for the last 6-7 years. It's, I even have the working title in my head, it's Grounded. Parenting as a spiritual path, because you have all the practices of spirituality in parenting, period. You have to practice, practicing gratitude, responsibility, unconditional love, patience, all the virtues. You practice them through parenting. If you're doing it, not saying well, that's a bit of a judgment, but if you're consciously committing to the process. So for me, and then I had two more later when my daughter was almost 10 when my second was born, and then almost 11 when her sister was born. And again, everything I've done since then is because of my children. Like every move, everything that I went into healing because I was so exhausted because of my children. I was drained. I didn't know what to do. What is my life? What's my purpose? I went into healing for me. And then, of course, that ripples out really quickly when your husband talks to everyone and says, oh, my wife can help you. Like, it's like, oh, she can help you. So everything has been for me with my children. They're the biggest mirror. They're showing you every time where you're not stepping up, what you're not owning up, what your next level is, what your next learning is.
Yeah.
And they still do. So yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask, how's your future life looking? It's it's constant evolving, I reckon. Huh?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's I don't know what my future is gonna be. I'm actually I have a group, a Facebook group. It's called the Vibrant Sensitive, the movement group. And this month I'm gonna be talking about future self.
Mm.
And I now you touch on it, of course. Of course you
Yeah.
do. But future self work, it's so important, it's so transformational, because we connect to we're being pulled forward by our future, right? People think we're like, oh, we're just held back by our past, but there's something also bigger that is pulling us forward into our next step. And the bigger you make that, the easier it actually is. People think, oh, but I'm gonna fail. No, but just in the becoming of it, even if you don't become exactly that, you will be growing into whatever your next step is going to be. And I think that's very exciting. A lot of people they get freaked out by that, and I'm like, what? Isn't it exciting? You don't know what you're gonna be. Whoa! All you have to do is step into, just wanting it and becoming that today. Really, already just okay. What would my future self do? What would my future? How would she act? What are her habits? And I have to start doing them now. And in that, you're already becoming something, and you don't know when it's going to bring you. And then you get to create another future self, and another, and another.
Yeah. There is no limit.
Exactly. And of course, in the quantum field, we say you didn't, you just stepped into the timeline where that future self existed. The moment you chose it and you start acting like her, you right away step into that timeline.
Yeah.
And you're it. It can be that simple, but we like to overcomplicate this.
Yeah. Don't be just. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be that easy. There's got to be a little catch there somewhere.
No, it can be that easy, but we have to
Yeah.
be so conscious of our ability to make choices.
Yeah. Yeah. And to take responsibility for that.
Yeah, but that's where our freedom lies, right?
Yeah.
That is freedom, the ability to make choices. But we don't
Yeah.
take that freedom. We just like to be run by our, choices, even not choosing is choosing, but
Yeah.
but just that unconscious mechanism of habit formation, right? But we can break that. But most people don't want to, because they're
No.
just so comfortable
And
in
that's exactly it. I mean, it's far easier to blame somebody else for stuff that I don't have or for stuff I don't do, rather take responsibility and say, well, it's all on me. It's
yeah.
up to me to make the change and up to me to do that.
Mm.
And like I said, people will only change when their comfort level starts to change. As long as you're comfortable, I'm all right. I'm just pull the covers back up here a bit here and just chill for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much a stoic, the stoic philosophers, when life isn't supposed to be easy.
Mm,
We like it to feel easy, but it can still feel flowy within the
absolutely.
challenge. And I
Yeah.
think that's where people get it kind of like mixed up. They're like, oh, why not? It's not easy. Why isn't it easy? No, well, because you're growing, and
Yeah.
growing is per definition something that you're stretching out of.
So,
Yet it can be, if your practice in growth, right? Then okay, it's feeling uncomfortable now, but I'll flow again until I hit my next plateau, and then I'll choose the next challenge. And then
absolutely. And when you know that it's uncomfortable, you're on the right track. Yes,
exactly. And
I'm
people
on my
don't like
road.
to hear
Yeah.
that. They don't like to hear that. No, in the spiritual world, especially, there's just so much focus on ease. Which I love ease, of course. I ask myself a lot, what is the easiest thing to do?
Mm,
Which is a very freeing question, because we like to complicate things. So if like in my marketing, okay, I don't like that, but okay, what is the easy thing to do? What comes natural to me, right? I'm going to do that. That's easy for me. Doesn't mean I'm still, I still don't like marketing, but I'm still doing the easy thing that comes natural to me. So I'm always asking myself, what is the easiest way to serve? What is the easiest way for me to serve? I'm not going to overcomplicate my life when it's not necessary, right? Yet we always need challenges. We need that next thing we're stepping into, that next self we're growing into.
Yeah.
Needs to be in a goal. And people hate that. They don't like that. Oh, I don't like goals. I'm going to fail. Well, you're failing now anyway, because you're not doing anything with your life, right? You're not stretching yourself. You're not being the best version of you. And I think that's where the most pain arises in our human existence, is when we know we're not being what we're capable of being. That's the ultimate pain, when we close that gap moment to moment to moment, that's where we feel alive.
Yeah. I think that's where we can bring the ease in as well. Instead of beating ourselves up, it's just taking the next step. It doesn't have to be more complicated, and just keep moving. Just keep
Exactly.
moving.
It's moment to moment.
Yeah.
And it can be tiny, like it can be small steps. Again, when we can set a goal that is really big, but we have to break it down. Otherwise, we're going to set up ourselves to failure, because it's just our minds cannot grasp it. So then we just give up. But if you make it crazy small, there are so many books around these: Atomic Habit, Micro Habits, Little Habits, all habits, like everybody's saying, Kaizen, the principle of Kaizen, that is just about the little steps that you make and moving forward. There's a reason for that. Our minds cannot do that. And
yeah, if it's too big, yeah,
we have to acknowledge that. Yeah.
And it's all perception. It's only difficult or easy if we make it so.
And again, the moment to moment part, again, we only have the moments.
Mm.
Tomorrow is never given, right? We don't have any clue what tomorrow is going to happen. We only know what is with us today. So we do today what's in us today, and tomorrow we repeat. They say the whole idea of carpe diem. There's another one, it's carpe punctum, and it's seize the moment. Not seize the day, because even a day is too long.
Exactly, because the moment is all we have.
Yeah, just now. And it's every time, it's in every interaction, in every moment that you have. Okay, what would the best version of me do now? And now, right?
That's it.
That's all we have. Yeah,
Karin,
absolutely.
you're a hive of knowledge, and it's the enthusiasm and the adventure is ruling off it.
Oh, thank you.
Is there any last thoughts that you'd like to leave people with, and how can they contact you if they'd like to work with you?
Check out my website. And I'm coming out of retirement, so I'm putting back everything online again. It's the vibrantsensitive.com. But if you want to get in touch with me, I have Facebook groups, which I'm going to be more active in again. It's also the Vibrant Sensitive. You can find me there. And Karin Monster Peters is my real name.
We won't ask where the monster came from.
My father's father. It really is my name. But when Facebook first came online and I wanted a profile, I had to put my passport in because they wouldn't allow me to open up an account. So yes.
They thought you were part of the Addams family.
Yeah. Well, I always say, well, you will never forget me.
Yeah. That's a fact. I got to stop the recording now, Karin. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
That was brilliant, Karin.